Welcome at long last to my late great paper mache egg tutorial. As with many of my videos, my intention here is to incorporate loads of tips and tricks throughout the entire video with a little entertainment, so I hope you'll watch all the way through to the end. I also hope you'll be inspired to attempt these techniques beyond the projects demonstrated in this video, because the possibilities are infinite. The first easy and obvious method that we're going to attempt is to insert paper mache pulp into the inside of a plastic egg, therefore employing the egg as a mold. If you're a newbie here and paper mache pulp is a foreign substance to you, you can find further information, including a link to a video where I demonstrate how to make it, in the description. Before we proceed with putting this paper mache pulp into the plastic egg, we need to apply some sort of a release agent. And in this case, I am using a cheap cooking spray. That will help to release the paper mache pulp from the egg once it's dry. For the next trial, we are going to be liquefying this paper mache pulp and attempting to paint it onto the surface of a plastic egg. In order to change the consistency of this pulp to a more liquid form, I am going to be adding more of what's already in the pulp, water and white glue. Next, I'll employ my immersion blender to do the heavy lifting. You can find this and other tools seen in this video in my Amazon list, which is linked on my channel. The blender is working great, but I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more water to thin this pulp even more. I did say liquid, but the consistency I'm going for is similar to that of a store-bought texture paste. If you've ever made your own paper, this is about the perfect consistency for that as well. We're going for a weight light enough to brush or spread onto the surface. To make that process easier, I am making use of the holes that are already in my plastic egg to stick it onto a bamboo skewer. Since the spray turned out to be too lightweight and slippery to hold this pulp, we are switching gears to petroleum jelly. While we're at it, let's not just make eggs, let's make giant ones. I grabbed this giant plastic egg from a local dollar store, but an upside down balloon would work great too. Take a break to do an egg dance? Sure. A reminder that this is a release agent to help remove the plastic egg once the pulp is dry, but if you don't care about removing the plastic egg, you can skip that step. If you will, however, be removing your plastic egg, be sure to apply ample amounts of petroleum jelly. Otherwise, be prepared to go into a WWE SmackDown match to get this plastic out of the paper mache. And now for a conundrum. To ensure that the paper pulp sticks to the egg that's been greased up to ensure that the paper won't stick to the egg,
The utter insanity.
I am applying a layer of paper strips. Here I'm using my hot glue gun to attach my plastic egg to a makeshift plastic pedestal.
It's just a bowl.
So it won't move while I work. Now it's time for the slip.
Get pure premium slip. Exclusively blended and bottled in the Pyrenees by tiny slip fairies. And shipped directly to exclusive people only.
Not available in stores.
I'm sorry to have to inform you, but you will have to make your own slip. And it's not that difficult, but it is a matter of using your own judgment. Apparently that freaks some people out, but it's as simple as mixing enough white glue into your water to make a heavy cream consistency. If your slip mixture is too thin and watery, it will not stick to your paper, and in turn, the paper will not stick to your form. And if the mixture is too thick, your paper will simply become too sticky, too heavy, and will not be workable. And since the layering process is pretty self-explanatory, oh, you want a quick review? Why not? I'm using brown packing paper to apply approximately 2 layers of paper to this surface. You can absolutely use other types of paper, such as newspaper, copy paper, any type of lightweight paper that can be ripped by hand. I'm using brown packing paper simply because this is what I have most of on hand right now. You'll notice that I dip the paper and then I sort of knock most of the slip mixture off with my fingers before applying it to the shape. Cover the entire shape to complete the layer and then apply additional layers as needed. Head to the link provided in the description to watch the full video on this technique. And now I'd like to take a moment to give a special shout out to a viewer by the name of Mary Jenny, who submitted a question that inspired this video. In response to Mary's question, I'm going to be attempting to create a paper mache egg using a liquefied version of paper mache pulp. Unfortunately, even with the starter layers of brown paper, the pulp is not cooperating and not sticking, so we're going back to thicker pulp. The thicker pulp is working very well, allowing me to apply a thin coat over the entire surface. Now I'm pairing the slip mixture with a spray bottle of plain water and the heel of my hand, which is a great tool to smooth the entire surface. While that begins to dry, we'll go back and apply pulp to the surface of the smaller egg. Because this is a smaller surface and we've gone back to the thicker pulp, we won't need to apply a base layer of paper strips to get it to stick. I'm applying this and allowing it to dry before I go back and smooth it further. Hey, remember that original egg we did? Let's check on that. Not surprisingly, this nice solid egg came out fairly predictably. All it needs is a little smoothing with our old friend Slip. You might logically think that applying slip and water throughout the drying process to smooth your pieces would affect the drying process, but in fact, it does not. It actually facilitates smoothing and drying faster. As paper pulp dries, the water in it evaporates, causing the paper pulp to shrink, therefore showing more of the texture. We prevent that by using slip and water to smooth the surface of the pulp as it dries. Now I'm smoothing the eggs that are hollow on the inside with pulp applied to the outside of the plastic. Even as the pulp appears dry to the touch, continuing to apply water and smooth the surface by hand or with a tool will give the best results possible. Personally, I'd rather invest more time in this phase than in sanding later on to get the smooth finish I like. Here's a little fact about me. I have an egg sensitivity, so I always had plastic eggs growing up, and I never really got to decorate real eggs. So now's my chance. And now we've finally reached the hard-boiled stage, and our egg is ready for the next step. Somebody had corn for dinner last night.
And now you're serving corn.
And here we are with all variations of this technique, all dry, so we're ready to proceed to the next step. Here's another fact. I'm a little bit picky, so I'm going to go ahead and sand the surface of these before I move to the next step. To do that, I'm going to take them to my sanding box, which I also built myself. And there's a link to that video in the description below as well. Now, with a much smoother surface, we are ready to move to paint. Oh no. It seems as though our nice thin layer of pulp was a little too thin in some places, but never fear, we can fix that later. Let's move on and show you some more techniques. Don't mind me, just precariously using a hacksaw to cut these eggs open and to pry the plastic portion out. Yes, at least one of these eggs is a mess, but I can easily glue this back together, then apply some more paper mache over it to fix the issue. I don't know why, but I decided it was the right thing to do to stick a little craft jingle bell inside of the egg. Go figure. Here's where my liquefied paper mache pulp comes in handy. We're going to use it to patch the holes and the cracks in the hollow eggs and to seal them back closed. I make sure to overfill the cracks in the holes, and then I'll go back and sand them smooth again once they're dry. If you're in a time crunch like me, or you're just in a tricky climate that won't dry your pieces quickly, you can do as I'm doing and use a heat gun, a hair dryer, or a fan, or even a microwave in the event that your pieces are not built up over plastic or metal parts like mine. I pulled my giant egg off of the meltable plastic base and used my heat gun on that and the smaller eggs to get them to dry quicker. Now I'm using sandpaper to show that you don't have to have a sanding box like mine. You can just smooth them using basic sandpaper, and they are just about ready to paint. This big guy, on the other hand, well, it's time to contend with this. Did I struggle immensely trying to get this thing cut in half and the plastic egg pulled out of it? Absolutely. As I mentioned before, if you don't use ample amounts of petroleum jelly, you are in for a fight. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply some more paper strips to the outside of one of my hollow eggs just to help smooth this one out. After a mighty struggle, I finally managed to remove the plastic egg from my piece. Now all that's left to do is to seal this piece back together.
More insanity.
So that I can paint it. To make that process quicker, I simply use my hot glue gun to attach the pieces together. Next is back to the strips of brown paper to help conceal the cut. I will layer these on, sand it smooth, and then I will proceed to paint this egg. I don't know about you, but I'm a little tired. Almost as though I've been, well, egged. Since this video is running a little long, I am going to wrap it up and share the painting process in a short and the completed pieces in a post on my community tab. So keep an eye out. To you, my viewers, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, please throw an egg emoji into the comments or leave a question or comment. Let me know how you'd finish this giant egg. See you soon.